Over the past few years, people have definitely noticed a shift in storytelling and video games that we're getting, and people are finally catching on to how toxic DEI actually is to developers and projects. And now we're finding out that Activision has installed DEI officers on every development team to ensure the message is propagated. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, there is nothing that an Activision Blizzard could do to surprise me at this point. Like Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's just all very disappointing to see this happen time and time again, and companies not learn their lesson when their games sell less copies than they expected because people are trying to tell them, hey, this isn't the content that we want, but they never listen. And they keep doubling and tripling down because they want those sweet, sweet ESG points. But now, according to a new report, it is being claimed that the Call of Duty developer, Activision, installs diversity, equity, and inclusion officers on every single development team in order to ensure the message is propagated. And keep in mind, of course, this is really boiling down to Microsoft and unfortunately, Xbox over the past few years, yes, has had a focus on DEI. They're hiring people who really do not deserve the jobs that they're in, who are not the best person for the job. They simply are hiring based on wanting to have more females and people of color. We, of course, know that Microsoft is definitely going heavily against what they deem toxicity on their platforms, AI to ban people and sift through reports, and it's just not getting better. It's only getting worse within the industry, and this is why so many people are no longer supporting, Activision Blizzard titles and Xbox, and we unfortunately have Sony to deal with. Every single company has their problems. It says this new report comes from Mark Kern and his developer contacts and friends. He posted on X that bonuses and reviews for employees depend on how hard you DEI, basically. And we do not have the exact specifics, but we do have an interesting list that we can kind of go off of. It says, here are some of the progress we've made over the past 12 months. Now, of course, take this all with a grain of salt. None of this is confirmed. It's not like this is on their website for everybody to see, but it definitely sounds real, and I do believe it. Created a mentorship program, XP Equity, for all Activision employees to partake in an opportunity for connection and growth and increased participation of mentor signups. Released 10 episodes of Press Pause Season 1. I'm assuming that Press Pause is, hold on with what you assume about the industry and what you believe is happening at our company, because we need to basically re-educate the people that work for us, which of course is absolutely ridiculous. Conducting marketing shared space sessions for all of our employee network groups. We have things like curated several meaningful DE&I focused learning opportunities for our DE&I page in partnership with our L&D team. So basically, out of this and all of the bullet points, we are your bonus and review depends on how hard you DEI. DEI officers are instilled on every dev team to ensure the message. We have, unfortunately, nothing that's really shocking here, but things that we have come to understand are certainly integral in the way that a lot of these companies are ran at this point. Now, of course, we know that they have had a DEI officer for a couple of years at this point, and while this document claims that the equity is open to all employees, on the company's diversity and inclusion webpage, which of course is, yes, very public, a brief overview of the program makes it clear it has a certain focus on individuals based on their race, sex, sexual orientation, ethnicity, age, disability, all of these things. that realistically should not matter in the grand scheme of things. If you are someone who is 65 and you're amazing at your job, you should be able to get a job. If you're 25, you should be able to get the job. It doesn't matter if you're a male or female or person of color. The best person should get the position, but that's not how these companies work anymore. And it says, as far as the idea of DEI officers are installed on every development team, the company's president, Rob, declared as part of the company's 2023 to 24 Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion report that DEI is a critical component of our future success. Our journey towards fostering DEI began years ago, fueled by the passion and stories shared by our employees. So they are straight up admitting that this is something that they are focusing on, that this is, yes, something they are doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on, and they really are not understanding the backlash that is going on within the industry. If there's a Sweet Baby Inc. in sight, a Black Girl Gamers in sight, if there is a equity DEI program of any kind of sort, people are going to boycott your products. I do think that they are heading in the wrong direction, like most people would agree, and they are going to be facing even more boycotts going forward. I understand wanting to foster a healthy atmosphere for your employees. And yes, sometimes there are bad things that happen in the workplace, and unfortunately, yes, sometimes that may be, racial, but at the same time, you cannot create 500 different programs in order to protect certain people while leaving others in the dirt. Yes, it's fine to have a HR that deals with situations that happen in the workplace, but obviously with the accusations that Activision Blizzard has faced over the past few years, and it being called, basically a frat house behind the scenes, and they constantly were having parties, and we even had the, lawsuits. They clearly want to try to clean up their image, but doing this is not going to work. It's just going to make people question why they are, deciding to triple down on DEI, especially when there is so much backlash against it within the industry currently. It just goes to show the people running these companies do not understand what consumers want and the things that we are sticking clear from. And it will be interesting to see over the next few years what happens with Activision Blizzard. I don't think that they're going to drastically change for the better. I really only see them getting worse, but obviously only time will tell. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.